From Pasatiempo to Pebble Beach, Red Hot News Talk, AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz.
Listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. It is Thursday, July 5th, 2018. I want to welcome you aboard Flight 1080. I want to thank everybody who showed up last night to say hi to us out there at the Watsonville Municipal Airport. We had a lot of fun with the Fire in the Sky Festival. If you made it out there, then you saw one heck of a show, including the jet dragster racing down the drag strip or down the runway, as well as the firework display. It was one heck of a show. Hats off and a hand clap to the people who organized that. I want to say thank you to Danielle, who is my co-host for today. How are you doing, Danielle?
I'm doing really well.
All right. It's good to see you.
Thank you, too. I was just finishing my popping.
I saw you dancing.
Music.
That song's pretty cool, huh?
That's rad.
That's all right. I
cool.
like that. Yeah.
Brought me back.
All right. Now what?
How was your 4th?
It was all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was all right. How about yours?
It was okay.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was okay.
Okay.
I'm not into the whole, I'd rather go to like a huge fireworks show than do the fireworks. Be a participant.
Hey, were you looking at my headlines here?
No.
You didn't look at the main story that I wanted to talk about today, did you?
No.
There's two of them, actually. One of them is not here, but the other one is highlighted and marked here on the front page of the Santa Cruz Sentinel. You didn't look at this, did you?
No. Why would I do that to you?
Because that's sneaky.
So sneaky. Women are not sneaky.
That's like looking in your purse. Did I ever ask you that question? Is it okay for a guy to look in your purse?
Never.
What's your answer?
Never.
Never what?
Look in a woman's purse.
That's what I say.
What is the matter with you?
That's what I say. I won't look at it. Even if somebody says, well, you can go ahead and look in the purse, I'll be like, no, I'd rather not. Are you sure I can't just bring it to you and you can look in your own purse?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, always.
Yes. What were you doing? Yeah.
No. That's
okay, good. Well, okay. High five. Here, fist bump.
Fist bump on that. So
boom.
No, and I don't really carry a bag anymore, but that's private.
Yeah, that's totally like off limits, right?
Way off limits.
Good.
Like
okay, good. We're on good. We're starting off good. This is great.
It's not going to last.
I know. We're going to get into some stuff probably. What do I want to talk about?
I know it's getting wicked hot already.
No, look at this. Isaac Newton.
Sir Isaac Newton.
First published his book. Oh, I'm going to sound like an idiot saying this.
Give it a shot. Let's see.
Principia Mathematica.
Very nice.
I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, it's Latin.
A 3-volume work setting out his mathematical principles of natural philosophy. Meh, who cares? Totally unimportant.
It's in the Santa Cruz Sentinel. It's important.
That's true. It is in the Santa Cruz Sentinel. You know what else is in the Santa Cruz Sentinel? So you asked me how yesterday's show went, right? Or how my holiday went. Independence Day.
Independence Day. The 4th of July, 2018.
You know, and I mentioned yesterday that the Independence Day is the day that we said, we are not taking this crap no more. We just wrote the paper, right? There was a big war that followed that.
Right.
So this is not the day that we won our independence. This is just the day that we said, hey, we're not taking this anymore. Screw you, King George, or whatever your name is, right? Whatever your kingly name is. Screw you. We're not taking this. And there was a 13-year fight that followed it.
Yeah, I get a little sad, actually, with Independence Day, Memorial Day, because to me, there's been a lot of members of my family that were in the military. So
yeah, mine too. Luckily, none of them that I know, they all made it back. I should say it that way. They all made it back, thankfully. But yeah, I wonder what does the 4th of July mean to you?
Are you asking me or them?
No, I'm asking everybody. It's a question that I'm asking both of you. I'm asking you, Danielle, and I'm asking you, the audience, at 831-479-1080.
What's your text?
218-5726 is my text. Yeah, that's great. It's like you're psychic. 831-218-5726. To make it easier to remember, that's 218-KSEO. If you have a smartphone, instead of calling in, you could just go boop, 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 send a text 218-KSCO.
You don't even need to touch your phone if you have a smartphone. You just talk in it.
Yes. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well at Flight 1080. What does it mean to you? So I'm looking at my favorite newspaper, right? This is the Santa Cruz Sentinel. This is today's version. I love the Watsonville 4th of July parade. Love it. Always have. It's a great parade. It's a fantastic time. Have you ever been to the Watsonville parade?
I have not.
Well, it's a lot better than the world's shortest parade over in El Paso.
I disagree, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we could fight about that later.
Yeah.
So I'm looking right here.
In your newspaper. Did you tear it?
No. And see, on page 1, they have an old truck here. I think that's John Martinelli. Watsonville and the Register Pajaronian turned 150 years old. They're celebrating their 150th year, both. So that was part of the parade, too.
Wow.
Yes, the parade is fantastic. I'm telling you, it's a great time.
I'm starting to feel like I should run for cover.
Check this out. Now, this is we're on the radio now, but if you go to the Santa Cruz Sentinel and look on page 3, you're going to see something that makes me mad.
Uh-oh.
It really, really makes me mad. And it's not the Santa Cruz Sentinel's fault.
No, it's news. They have to provide
the show is being
news.
brought to you in part by the Santa Cruz Sentinel, by the way. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your cue.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You were supposed to point.
So page 3 of the Santa Cruz Sentinel. Did you know that this show is brought to you by the Santa Cruz Sentinel?
Which covers news that matters to you and your neighbors. If you want to call the Santa Cruz Sentinel for Flight 1080 customers only, 831-706-3261, and ask for the KSCO special.
That's right. 706-3261. 3 fantastic deals for our listeners. I think Steve came up with the 4th one, too, which is going to be... Give me that.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
With the snappy, right? So check this out. Look, tell me what you see here, okay? I'm going to hand this to you, and you just describe what you see. That little corner right there. You see that little guy right there? Describe what you see, and tell me that doesn't make you mad. And I know I have thick skin, and I'm all for freedom of speech, and I'm all for that. But what do you see there? Tell me what you see on page 3 of today's Santa Cruz Sentinel. If you're a subscriber, it's on the E-edition, and it's page 3 of the E-edition.
Oh, on the what corner? On the bottom?
The bottom corner, the bottom left corner. Do you see that? Not the ad. Do you see that guy? Or does that not offend you? Do you see it? Tell me what you see.
I do. It looks like like the top, like a puppeteer from, Dios de los Muertos, those height of a puppet.
Okay.
And then the bottom, it's looks like somebody dressed as Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top is a Mexican farm worker, looks like, right? With the serape wrapped around him, and he has 2 flags. So Trump is carrying the farm workers on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like that?
No, I don't like that.
Why not?
Give me that. Because...
Don't burn the paper in the studio. Someone's going to get mad.
Okay, maybe I should describe it through my eyes. Because the way you described it sounds like I'm just being a big
old whiner.
Big baby.
Big old whiny baby.
Okay, so see what this guy did was he listen, this is the 4th of July parade, okay? This is not the time to go out there and protest the building of the wall. This is not the time to go out there and protest illegal immigration and their policies. This is not the time to do that. This is when we celebrate the founding of our country, right? So this guy, some guy, and it makes me mad because whoever approved him to do this, I don't know if they saw it first or not. So if you look there's some guy who has this setup, and it looks like Donald Trump is carrying a Mexican guy, and it's obviously Mexican. He's wearing, actually, he's waving 2 American flags, but he's in traditional Mexican gear. Did you push hold first, or did you just hang up on him?
They hung up. I think they hung up on you.
Okay, so they hung up on you. That's okay. I would too.
Wow.
So it looks like Donald Trump is carrying a Mexican citizen on top of his shoulders. And this is not a complimentary photograph. What it looks like is he's riding him like a dog or like a burro.
A burro,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's riding him like an animal.
Okay.
And I think to have something like that in the parade is pretty angering. Disgusting. Could I say disgusting? I think it makes me mad. And I saw it there, and it got my attention at first. And I continued reading the Santa Cruz Sentinel because there's a lot of stuff there. And it's making me mad right now.
So let me get this straight.
It's making me mad right now that they allowed in the parade somebody who's writing Donald Trump like he's a donkey. Is that not offensive? Is that not offensive to you?
Well,
479-1080?
You have an issue because they're making a political statement in a community parade.
I have an issue because they are making fun of the president of the United States. Can you imagine if this was
Listen,
Barack Obama?
Let me tell you something.
And I had him pulling my plow or picking cotton.
When you
Can
take
you imagine
that job, when you take that job,
this is ridiculous.
When you take the POTUS,
Where's the phone calls? Is this not working?
You get your life totally situated in the public eye. It's up for scrutiny.
I understand that, but this is not any ordinary day. You understand? This only comes once a year.
Well, for some of these people, that's the only time they have the actual day off.
There's 365.
It's summertime.
No, that's kind of a weak excuse.
It's a good one, especially
No, it's
for
not.
Watsonville.
No,
Come on.
listen.
Were you working?
479-1080. Is it not sad, at least, that they're making fun of the president of the United States during a 4th of July? Don't roll your eyes.
Listen.
Don't roll your eyes. You can't do that. Listen. Okay. Imagine if this was go ahead.
Listen.
All right.
And the Women's March, which was supposed to be a worldwide time, but they had a separate one here in Santa Cruz. The main tenet was, this isn't our president. It's not our president. And, what really needed to be the focus, in my opinion, was the working wages for women are still, we only make 72 cents on the dollar compared to men. So, if someone can slide in there and make a political statement like a streaker, I say go for it. You have an opening. They took it. It's not their fault that it's making you mad. I mean, I know that somebody out there in the audience of that parade probably appreciated that mini demonstration going on the side with the puppet thing.
What'd you say? Did you say I was right? Yes. You finally.
No.
You didn't say that? Darn it. You know who I met yesterday? I met Andres at the Watsonville airport. It was fantastic.
On.
Yes. He's a great guy.
Nice.
He bought me a beer. Otherwise, I would have, that changed my opinion drastically. So he's a good guy. He's an all right guy.
Okay, did the beer come before you met him or after? Like during the meet and greet?
He said, hey, I'll be right back. And brought me a beer. And I remember his son's name, I think it was Isaac. I forget his wife's name, but he has a beautiful family. And I want to say
that must be cool
hello and
for
thank you to Andres. And I saw Nick out there. I also saw Tony out there.
Wow.
We were hanging out with Lowell Hurst and Carlos Montoya. We were hanging out with some good people. It was a lot of fun out there.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Let's head out to the phone lines, okay? 479-1080. Up first is Mike in Prunedale. You're in the air.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, so we're offended because there's a puppet show of a Mexican guy of Latin descent, let's say, riding Trump like a donkey.
I would say Dave is mad about that, is what he said, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not even talking to you, so that's how mad I am.
So there was a parade and there was a puppet show at the parade.
I don't know I guess you could call it a puppet. So what this guy did was he designed a puppet. If you can imagine around the pelvis area is Donald Trump's head, so it looks like he's a midget Donald Trump. And I guess it's a puppet. It's just one guy with a suit designed to look like a miniature Donald Trump carrying a miniature Mexican on his shoulders. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Is that not offensive? Is it offensive, though? Here's a question that I want to ask. Is it offensive or is it acceptable to make fun of the President of the United States during a 4th of July parade? That's the question.
Well, technically, that would be freedom of speech.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, I would agree that is very disrespectful, especially, and I can't necessarily, well, yes, I can blame them, but you got to understand, there's a lot of brainwashing going on in our country. There's a war in Washington, D.C. right now going on, and a lot of people don't understand what's happening. They just hear Trump is this bigot racist, and they hear it over and over and over again, and they just repeat it, and they act on what they hear. You know what I mean? They don't go out and research the facts for themselves, so it's just, it's it's disrespectful, but almost in a way, a lot of the people are so ignorant, you can't really blame them. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, Mike, and that's the sad thing. So again, thank you for your call, 479-1080. So here's the question. What does the 4th of July mean to you? Does it mean that it's a day to exercise your freedom of speech, and then you go out there and you make fun of the president, you put him as a donkey, and you do whatever you want to him? Is that what you do on the 4th of July? Is the 4th of July the time that you pay respect to our founding forefathers? Is that the 4th of July? Is the 4th of July the time that you say, hey, you know what, every once in a while you have to take a stand and be ready to fight? Is that what the 4th of July means to you? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? And is it acceptable once you have a parade like this that you make fun of the President of the United States? What if it was Barack Obama and you had him and you're writing his ears and pulling him and you had him doing something horrible? You can use your imagination, right? Is that acceptable? And I'll tell you, no, it is not. And I think...
you think there should...
I think the last caller agreed. So I have 2 columns here, D for David and D for Danielle, and I got
brother.
1 for me.
I
Okay.
don't think... I think you converted, so you're going to have a middle column there.
I'm not going to convert at all, so I think I'm right on this one.
No, I think you converted
Let's see who's up next.
the caller.
Mary is calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Danielle. I am so with you, Dave. No offense, Danielle, but
None
this
taken.
is absolutely disgusting and unacceptable and disrespectful, and I've got so many adjectives I could use. But the 4th of July is not for that. The 4th of July is for showing appreciation for the freedoms we do have and that were very hard earned by our forefathers and our veterans and those people. And I would have to say, you find me a veteran that thinks that that's okay, maybe I'll change. I won't change my mind, but I'd be shocked if anybody would support that sort of an attitude that has any sort of skin in the game for our democracy and for our freedoms.
Thank you for your call, Mary. 47910. Yeah, Danielle, if you knew a veteran.
I am a veteran.
What?
I think parades are, a public forum for miniature space for entertainment in a lot of ways. I think it is great depending on the scope of the parade. Perhaps this particular person thought that he was showing his voice of a community down there. I don't know.
I'll tell you what you want to do. You want to get your pull out your edition of the Santa Cruz Sentinel today. It's page 3. Okay, it's page 3, and you can go online, whatever you need to do. Get your edition of the Santa Cruz Sentinel, page 3. See this picture, which I think is offensive, or maybe I'm just being a big fat baby. Not fat. Maybe I'm just being a big fluffy. What's a good adjective? Fluffy?
For being chubby, overweight,
chubby? No,
not slender, not a model.
Something that turns chicks on. They say, "Oh yeah, I like that." What is it?
Oh, you look like a tiger.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, if I say you look
That
like a
would work?
bear, you look like a bear. That means something totally different to another group. But
I see. It's like a tiger.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
479-1080. Let's see who's up next. Gabriel is calling from Watsonville. You're in the air.
hi, Gabriel.
Hello, Daniel and Dave. I stopped going to the 4th of July parade in Watsonville a couple years ago. That was the last time I went, when this Mexican guy that was in one of those Mexican bands, riding downtown, he screamed, he yelled loud, like, Viva Mexico, and like screwed Watsonville. Ever since, you know what, I stopped going to that parade. To me, that parade should not be held on the 4th of July. They should have it on Cinco de Mayo, because that's more like a Mexican parade. And you know what? It's not a carnival. When it is a carnival, it is okay to bring whatever you want. But on the 4th of July, I don't think it's appropriate to have that type of, showings like puppets or whatever you said. So, yeah, that was my comment.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you for your call, Gabriel. 479-10. You know what? I was just thinking about Gabriel and those of you who live in Watsonville. Now, it's going to sound offensive to some, but not to me, not to people who grow up in Watsonville and who, there's a bunch of gangsters in Watsonville, right? There's a bunch of them. And they'll say things like, Watson, let's say Watson, Watson. And you think about it and you think Watson is spelled W-A-T-S-O-N, right? Watson. But you say it with an accent and you make it sound cool. Watson.
Oh, so like it's Watsonville clip.
Yeah, but it's short, right? It's shortened. You don't want to say, hey, Watson.
Right.
But that's what they're saying.
Okay.
Right, so they're saying, hey, Watson, but all they're really is saying is, hey, Watson, and Watson is the name of the judge
who founded
Watsonville.
Right.
It's weird, right? So they're out there saying, hey, Watson, and it's like...
I like it when you throw that sign. That
yeah,
was
Watson,
rad.
that's cool, right?
Right.
But because I see it all the time, and it's like second nature. I can do it, even though... Phil, do we have enough time for one more phone call? Yeah, okay, let's get out to... let's take that to Phil. Phil or Bill? Wait, who is this?
Phil or Bill?
Somebody in on the phone.
Uh-oh.
Who is this?
Bill.
Bill. You're in the air.
Hi, Bill.
Bill.
Oh, Phil with a P as in Peter?
No, Bill.
It's Phil with an F.
He said Bill.
Bill.
Oh, Bill. Okay,
Bill.
Bill.
Hi,
Bill.
Bill. Like
Bill.
Kill Bill.
Yes.
Okay, got
Yes,
you.
I like your comment. I just came into the show, so I just got your comment here a little while ago. But when you're talking about what would Obama do if somebody had done that to him, I'm sure he'd have probably cut off all the federal funding to our neighborhood in Santa Cruz County. And who knows what else he would have done. He was not a nice guy. Trump is up against a brick wall. He's trying to fix 40 years of just the destruction of this country.
Some bad
yeah.
juju.
The overall destruction.
And you know what? And if you don't think it's headed down, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to sound like just a broken harp or something like that. But if you don't think we're headed down, I mean, look at, I don't want to say we're headed down the wrong direction, but look at the way people are acting. Like a bunch of freaking babies.
Well, entitlement.
And then you
is
see
what
the
that
Trump
is.
baby thing that they have coming up. Oh, we'll talk about that on the other side. We got to head to music. Bill, thank you for your call.
Thank you, Bill.
Or was it Phil?
It's Bill.
KSEO Santa Cruz. Maybe I'll have to listen to the replay at zbsradio.com. Some of these shows are being podcasted at my new website, flight1080.net. Check it out. Headlines up next.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Monterey, Brookdale, and San Lucas. Or 791-080 DM at KSCO.com. God bless the USA, Danielle. That's what I say.
Right?
How else would you have good music like this? Or a great show like this? This wouldn't exist in Korea, North Korea. Maybe it would.
This is your deal, right? The techno, more techno.
I like it. I love it. And, you know, today I'm hoping that we can get a good show out of this, and I'll end up putting this up on our podcast and make it easier.
Hopefully.
So here's the score. Here's the score, Danielle. You are losing badly by 100 to 1. You're losing by
100. I didn't know it was like a contest.
I think we had 4 calls that agreed with me, and so far
it was 2.
A goose egg for Danielle.
2.5.
That's me. That's
so
you.
I looked
Loser.
up. I googled history of parades. The quote from this is Merriam-Webster. It comes to English from French, where it traces back to the Middle French word meaning to prepare. So,
and who says this?
This is Merriam-Webster.
Never heard of him.
It is the dictionary guy. A parade, also called marched or marched past, is a procession of people usually organized along a street, often in costume, and often accompanied by marching bands, floats, or something large, or sometimes large balloons. Parades are held for a wide range of reason, but usually are a celebration of some kind. That's from Wikipedia, which can be changed all the time. You can go change it right now. First St. Patrick's Day Parade, 1762. That's from history.com. Ever been to the Rose Parade down in Southern California, Dave?
No.
Oh, my gosh. That's heaven. That's the heaven of parades. It's amazing. Everything's made of flowers.
Are you kidding me?
Seeds and or grasses.
What a boring thing you just told. I almost fell asleep. How boring is that? People walk by in costumes and balloons. Yay. What am I, 4?
They're
what
floats.
Am I, dumb?
They're floats.
Jeez.
And
Trump baby.
Horses.
Okay, so I want to go to a parade and I want to see something like a big giant balloon that looks like Trump baby, right? That's what I want to see?
I'm thinking no on that one. Is that going to be on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
This is going to be in London. They're going to protest Donald Trump in London, that is visiting in London, by launching a giant Trump baby And it looks like Donald Trump. It looks like a baby. He's wearing diapers, and he's screaming.
Oh, he has a diaper on. Sorry.
That's the president you're talking about.
I know.
You're laughing about.
I actually like him. So.
A giant balloon dubbed Trump Baby will be allowed to fly near London's Parliament during President Trump's visit on July 13th. The activist group behind it says the balloon's flight was approved by Mayor Sadiq Khan after more than 10,000 people signed a petition and more than 1,000 people raised over $20,000 through a crowdfunding campaign. That's a reversal from last week when city officials denied the group permission to fly the Trump Baby blimp over Parliament Square.
Okay, they're calling it a blimp, not a balloon.
It's a big, giant balloon. Yeah, I would call it a blimp, too. Check it out. Check it out on our Facebook page, Flight 1080. And also, you can go to flight1080.net and find all of the other stuff that we have there as well. The balloon will be allowed to fly for 2 hours, starting at 9:30 a.m. local time, and blah, 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 coinciding with Mr. Trump's visit and a Stop Trump march that is scheduled to march in London Central.
So I got something off Washington's top news.
Right.
The balloon to protest his UK visit. And it mentions the activist group who is against his politics.
What do they know? You know what? They're a bunch of Brits. Who cares what they think?
Wow.
Why don't you go do something? Do something?
They raised $14,000 to be allowed to fly this blimp in this parade, in this thing.
Kicked
3
your butt
times
once.
the initial amount.
We kicked your butt already about 270 years ago. We can do it again.
The balloon is going to fly in Parliament Square outside the House of Commons, which is their policy-making area.
Danielle.
Yes, you don't care?
No, I don't care.
So zero cares given?
0, just like the number in your win column here. You got no wins. Wow. No calls for Danielle.
I don't recall.
I say it is disrespectful. I say it is inappropriate and has no place to disrespect the president in a 4th of July parade. That's what I say. I say go to page 3 of today's Santa Cruz Sentinel and look at this picture of who is obviously a Mexican. He's got 2 American flags, though, which is interesting. But he's dressed, obviously, in traditional Mexican garb, right? The white clothing and the white hat and all that stuff. And he's riding on the back of Donald Trump. He's riding him like a donkey. And I think that is, it's got to be disrespectful, right? You don't do that in the 4th of July parade.
Well, first of all, I think it's disrespectful to the Mexican
look at how many calls you have on your
area.
side. 0.
I think I might
Maybe
be
I'll just
getting
change that from a D to an L for loser. Because you're losing
No,
bad.
I don't remember signing up for this contest. It's just I see where you could be mad about that for a while, but I have long since been to not a parade goer because there is just so much disrespectful stuff going on, especially in these Independence Day parades. There's people scantily clad out there,
Where?
walking, dancers,
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff. I know it's supposed to be a celebration, but seriously, it still has to deal with a lot of death, policy, many people, generations died for that day to be.
So what does the 4th of
ours.
July mean to you? That's another thing I was asking. Is this the time to protest and exercise your freedom of speech? Is it the time for fireworks?
For
is that
me,
what the 4th of July
today,
means to you? What does it mean?
It is the time of day where
you go out there
I
and disrespect the president?
Not going to be doing that.
I would never go to. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it is my show. I'm sorry. I can't imagine me going down on Mexican Independence Day, when that's September 13th or whatever, whenever that is, right? Mexican Independence Day.
Cinco de Mayo.
No. That's
the other one. Sorry.
Right. So I go out there, even Cinco de Mayo, and then go out there and disrespect their president. Who in the hell would do that?
Well,
who would go to Russia and Moscow and during one of their holidays and go and do something like that to Vladimir Putin and not expect? What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think.
And this is the United States. I mean, it's not like this is Russia or some kind. This is the.
I think you might get in trouble in those other countries that you mentioned for doing something like that.
That's why I stopped going down that path there. Yeah,
down
it's kind of a
that
different
road.
story. But you know who else agrees with me?
Who?
I don't know. He didn't put his name here on the text. But that's the advantage of texting. You don't have to put your name there. MAP in Scotts Valley. Independence Day certainly does not mean I would more like government involvement in my life. It does mean take my taxes, give the money to some people who aren't working. It means, historically speaking, men, women, and families give up their lives and fortunes to secure this great country from being run by a tyrannous government.
I think that's mine.
You wrote that?
I think it's in the middle. No, I'm saying it's I get whatever this contest is. I'm getting one.
Yeah,
maybe.
Steve, where was that beer from you? You work for a station. I'm not reading that.
Oh,
well, that's not.
That has nothing to do with the issues at hand.
It deals with the issues, but that's not something I want to get into. I agree with you, Dave. For once, you're not being a baby. This area is full of ignorance.
Wow.
See, he agrees with me, so I'll put another one down there.
Just because he said he agrees with you, you're going to add another hash mark.
479-1080-218-5726. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
He didn't even say anything, really.
Page 3. All right, let's get out to, and the other thing about that Trump baby, how disrespectful is that? Well, I guess I'm asking for too much. To ask for respect for the President of the United States is just asking too much. I guess I'm just, whatever.
Well, so it's going from the mayor, Sadiq Khan, approved the request, protesters
Sadiq
behind
Khan,
the stunt.
Who happens to be Muslim, right? And it's just, God, why do I say this stuff? Am I saying this stuff just to show off these details that I know, or are these actually significant?
Well, you're educating yourself.
He's a Muslim mayor.
Yeah.
Who made no secret that he doesn't like Donald Trump, and now he has approved a big, giant, fat, sweaty.
It's a blimp.
Baby Trump.
And it's not
and
sweating.
It's a fat, sweady baby.
It's not sweaty. Trump baby will fly! Exclamation point. Just reading part of the news there. He got a lot of support for this. More than 10,000 signing on an online petition. So if you want a baby of someone you don't like, baby blimp balloon, say that 3 times fast. You too can get this petition signed. A petition signed. 10,000 people signing it.
479-1080. Let's see what Pete has to say. Calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air, Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Hey, hi. Good afternoon. Hey, so you just nailed it with your last comment right there. So where does it end? Where does it end? I'm not a Trump supporter. I didn't vote for Trump, but this is the president of the United States. So if it's okay to do it to Trump, there is going to be a time in this country when it's going to be a Democrat in office again. And guess what? We just lowered the bar. Now we've lowered it so everybody. So it's like the one thing that I really think that it's never going to get played enough, but with Obama's wife, I'm sorry, I'm having a senior moment right now.
Melania?
Michelle Obama.
Michelle, yeah.
She said it, but no one else can figure it out. And it's to me, when they go low, you go high, because everybody keeps going lower and lower. So if you say it's okay for them to fly a balloon over a parade of an American president, I don't care if it's X, Y, if it's a R or D or whatever initial after it, they just lowered the bar completely. What do we even get? Does the American president have any power or anything in the world?
Pete, your phone's breaking up, but I think you agreed with me. I think he agreed with me.
I think he agreed with both of us because I said that it's changed a lot.
If you want to save Danielle, if you can possibly defend. Are you defending? By the way, did I ask you how you feel about this?
Okay.
Does this offend you? Let me show you again.
You haven't
You're
even
a veteran.
asked me about being in the contest.
You're a veteran, right?
Yes.
Well, you're losing the contest, so it doesn't matter.
I'm not.
And losers don't matter. So check out this picture.
Yes, I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps.
Okay.
I am a second generation veteran. Yes. What do you want?
Okay, now
me to
look
say?
at this and tell me that doesn't piss you off. Page 3 of the Santa Cruz Sentinel. Look at right there. Go ahead and if you
don't like is
look at your own edition of the Santa Cruz Sentinel. I'm sure you got one.
Here's the thing that kills me is the handling of the flags. That's the one that I have a beef with. If this is allowed and there's somebody else, maybe a reverse of this, maybe there was 2, that, no, is a parade the spot for political debauchery? I'm going to say no.
Debauchery.
Pass. Yeah, pass. Because this looks like someone that wasn't authorized to be in that parade. Well,
he had to have been. I mean, he's... Oh, and if you read the... Here, let me... So this is
great. Was it just a walk-on?
No, give me that paper. This is great. You should get your own. They have fantastic deals. There's 4 deals now for listeners of the Santa Cruz Sentinel. 831-706-3261. So check this out. Hey, check this out. So there's a little kid watching. There's Louis Alejo out there, right? And he's cruising. He has somebody driving him around, and he decides to do a circle in the middle of the parade, right? He's going to go and just do it. Not a donut, because that implies that you're going fast, but he's going to do a turnaround, show everybody off, show himself off, and then keep going. And he's doing this 360, right? So now he's going the opposite way of the parade, and some kid's yelling out there. I guess he's next to the reporter. Hey, you're going the wrong way. He's going the wrong way. Hey, you're going the wrong way. Telling him, because he thinks Louis Alejo is going to turn the other way and start going, running people down. Well, luckily, though, that wasn't part of the plan. Yeah.
Again, probably doing.
Again, these are little stories.
Situation.
This is what I like about home. That's the Santa Cruz Sentinel, right? Because you get the facts, but you also get these little details, which is just so great. They interviewed somebody here, and he says, growing up, we would always have meetings before the elections, and we would sit around the table and go through the pros and cons. And my parents would ask, well, why is this the best choice? That doesn't happen too much anymore.
My parents got in their first fight to where my dad actually left the house. I mean, he did that all the time anyways to go drink or whatever. Yeah. But I'd never heard him really yell. Mm-hmm. And
politics.
It was over politics. Yeah. And I'm like 13 years old going, what the blink is happening in my house right now? My dad's actually mad, telling my mom, you shouldn't have told your sisters anything about my political views. And I'm just like bug-eyed,
that's another old school thing. You don't tell people how you voted. You shouldn't tell people your political affiliation, but now it's just like,
just whatever. Well, whatever. And I agree I think it was Mike earlier. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to accuse anyone of ignorance, but it is important to educate yourself. And you can't do it through the news in the traditional sense anymore. A lot of news is about entertaining the public and the general public. Go and maybe attend a rally, or go and sit in your local politician's office, or maybe go to a board meeting, city council board meeting, which is open to the public. Do something, start out small, something you can wrap your head around.
Oh yeah, board meeting. That sounds like a lot of fun, Danielle. What a great idea.
It's just something to start
out,
do that. And then if you want to get up to the federal level, state level, you have to read. You have to read.
You read one of those BOACs, right? Those BOAC.
No.
Book? What is that? BOAC?
A book.
Whatever the hell
a book. Yes, you have to read a book.
Listen to this. 218-5726. Dave, were you asleep during the Obama presidency?
Were you?
You want respect for the office of president now? Where was it for Obama? I would never. I disapprove of disrespecting the president.
Period. POTUS is respect.
He represents the United States. And I think that, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. Even if I didn't like President Obama and I hated his guts, and I don't hate anybody, even if I hated his guts, he's the president of the United States. If he offered me a trip there for broadcasting or for my basketball skills, right? And he said, hey, Dave, you're fantastic. Come over for basketball one-on-one. I would go just to hang out with the president. There was a day and time when that was an honor to meet the president of the United States. Holy cow. That's not around anymore. There's no respect. It's just not there anymore. And it's sad, man. It's just sad. So I'll write that down as, that's one for you, I should say, huh?
You're doing the talking.
6-1. So you got at least one on your side. What a teacher should do and relented of the will. What is that about?
That seems like a little bit
I'm
of
sorry.
a
It's out of order. What better day to exercise your freedoms than on the 4th? As for Muslim mayor, he was against Trump baby petitions were signed, at which time he did what a leader should do and relented to the will of his citizens. He's right about that. He did reject it at first, and then he went on to it.
I think that's mine. Don't I get one for that one?
No.
What?
No, we're talking about the 4th of July parade, not Trump baby.
Okay, but I still think it's mine. Anyways, you're talking about a whole nother situation about respect in general. Yes, I've had people
that's what makes me mad about
literally plow me over in a doorway, and even I was first, but hadn't quite gotten the door open, and a man even looking at me like, thanks for opening the door. I mean, it was all I could do not just punch him in some area that would make good impression,
479-1080. Jay, I think it's Jay calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air.
Hi, Jay.
Hey, what's up? I just love the show.
Thank you.
I just wanted to point, thanks. And I think you guys are great. I just wanted to point out a couple of things. I remember when there was a rodeo clown who wore a mask of President Obama. And there was such incredible backlash. He lost his job. The rodeo almost went out of business, I think. And nowadays we have like Kathy Griffin, comedian, holding a decapitated picture of Donald Trump. We've got Snoop Dogg making music videos where he's shooting, basically Donald Trump. That kind of level of violent imagery I've never seen projected towards a sitting president. Like, yeah, we might make fun of GW for being a buffoon, for stumbling on his words or something like that, but for the most part, there's never been like a full-on acceptance of like total violent imagery towards a sitting president. But right now, that's kind of going on, and it's kind of concerning, and I really don't think it's okay. Like, when I go to a 4th of July parade, I'm there to have a good time with family and friends and to celebrate our community and country. I'm not there to see people participating in protests. I understand a lot of people like to drag political protests into any avenue they can, but ultimately, this is our country, and whether or not things are good or bad, right or wrong, which we've been on either side of the fence in all of those categories, it still is our country, and I think that we need to get together, especially in events like that. Dave, you can notch me as an agree for you.
All right.
Whatever.
Thank you for the call, Jay. 479-1080.
I agree with the general principle of what you're talking about. He's fully writing a speech right now in the whole situation.
Ooh.
You.
Speech. 479-1080, 218-5726. Trump should cancel the trip at the last minute. The mayor will look like a fool for all the money he spent. 218-5726. Want to meet the president? Not Trump. He'd probably call you fat ass as you left. Fat? Danielle, how would you call me? A tiger?
Tiger.
Yes.
And you're like, you're a tiger. You're just a tiger. I like what that last caller was talking about. What's his name that you put down? I think you doubled
Pete.
up on me. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee some of these people that are making these protests out in public very distinctly, wearing a Trump mask, Kathy Griffin, that kind of stuff. I'm surprised she's still working, to be honest with you. But, bad things happen. I'm online with the government and how they handle things. My daughter dated some guy for a little while that got into Microsoft through a back door. This was back about 16 years ago, and the FBI showed up at his house.
What?
That's all I'm saying.
What?
That's all I'm saying about
479-1080. We
that.
got less than a minute. Jose, can you do it?
Hi, Jose.
Hey, thanks, Dave. I wanted to say a few years ago I was working, and my boss had come just like totally pissed that someone had a sign that said something negative towards Obama. He showed up saying that, they were desecrating the office of the President of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, he would be the one that's doing it to Trump. But anyhow, I'm just happy I'm an American, man. I've been a veteran. I did a lot of things in my life. And yesterday, while I'm outside partaking with the devil's lettuce and playing with the plants, I did yard work, man. I just appreciated that I live in America and I was a soldier. I was just happy, man, content being by myself. But anyhow, I was listening to you at the airport. And
if someone should ask, tell them you heard it on AM 1080 KSCO.
DM at KSCO.com. You are listening to Flight 1080. And guess what, Danielle?
What?
It's a good thing that we live in California, such a liberal state. In some cases, you can change your driver's license. You can change the gender of your driver's license to non-binary or male or whatever you happen to feel. You can change
your
the gender on your driver's license. On your driver's license, yes. So now you could probably change your last name to Loser-tin because you just lost your butt on that last segment.
That would be they Loser-tin to
bad.
You. You're just upset.
218-5726. You know what, man? The next story. Let me tell you what I want to talk about next.
Tell me. You mean what you want me to talk about?
What I want to talk about, this I really, really want to talk about,
Go
because
ahead.
this affects somebody that I know in Watsonville who's a good guy, and he's being charged with murder.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Eli's being charged with, not my friend Eli. Well, he's a friend, but I wouldn't call him, he's more of an acquaintance. So here's it all in a nutshell. Eli sells pot, or I don't know if I should say that. This is how it appears. Somebody did a home invasion and came in, and they got into a shootout in his house. There's pot and massive amounts of money all over the street. No one is hit in the shootout inside the house, but the robbers, 2 of them, go taking off. Eli, his dad, and somebody else go out there and keep firing at these guys who are armed, shoot and kill one of them dead, right in the driveway. He's dead. The second guy, who is armed as well, takes off and he's chased by the cops. The cops catch up to him. He pulls a gun on the cops. The cops are so close that they knock the gun out of his hands. The chase continues. They catch him. There you go. Eli is sitting in jail now for murder. Him and his dad. One of the suspects is dead. The other has a criminal record that you wouldn't believe. Eli is in jail on $1 million bail. The guy who went in and robbed him, broad daylight, home invasion robbery, went in there with every willingness to kill, is being held on $50,000 bail. Eli has no criminal record and was defending his house, and he's being held on $1 million bail, while the guy with the criminal record longer than my leg, and I have short legs, but it's still a long criminal record, is in jail on $50,000 bail. And I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. You know, I know, I could really use a call from a lawyer. Maybe our good friend Dean Sutton could call. Because I think what they're going to end up charging him with is murder, because as the suspects were fleeing the house, they were running away. They apparently were shot at and killed. And I understand that. If that's the argument, I understand that. I would say that these guys were armed and had every intention of doing whatever it took to get out of there. They pulled a gun out on the cop. They might have shot him had there been 2 of them out there. I think that even though they were running away, the guy was still protecting his life. I don't know. What do you think? 479-1080. What do you think about that, Danielle?
Protecting your house and home with the firearm that you have in your possession because someone else has a firearm in their possession, that's your only situation that you can involve yourself in to protect what's mine, yours, and your family's. I say heck to the yes, of course. Now, he dropped one of them, obviously, and is now being charged with that as a criminal act.
Right.
But it was a criminal activity from both parties, correct?
Yes.
I'm so sorry for you, Dave. I really am. I'm sorry for your friend. And he was just trying to make a buck, it sounds like, just to get by. And that's the part I don't like, because maybe it was an illegal thing. He didn't actually have a storefront or an office to protect him. But from what I understand, they're hot commodities in the criminal world now, is targeting these people who are still selling their product outside of the norms that people are doing with the medicinal or the marijuana dispensaries now. I don't, I was saddened by the whole story. Because,
oh, you saw the story?
Well, yeah. I mean, and my first reaction was surprisingly highly emotional, because I thought, man, this poor sap's just trying to make a living, just trying to get by. And these clowns go in there and try to rob him, take not only his bread, they took his... could
have taken his family. I mean, they went in there ready to kill.
Right. And so they had loaded firearms on them to protect themselves, but because they got capped... Now your friend is being charged with murder.
Yeah, with murder. And I think it's such crap.
I
was speaking with another friend of mine. They were saying, it sounds terrible to say this, but you would almost hope that happens more. That if you're going to break into somebody's house and try to rob them, you should be killed dead. This should happen more, not less. This guy shouldn't be charged. I don't know. And we don't have all the facts, but that's basically, if you read the Santa Cruz Sentinel, you read the papers and the different news organizations, those are the basic facts. 479-1080.
Well, and what was really sad is this poor guy, his product is all over the street. He can't recover his money that he's earned, albeit outside of the norms, and he can't recover his product.
Well,
so he's got nothing to sell. He's got no money for the past sales.
And cannabis is legal now in California, so I mean, it's like he's selling tomatoes, right? I mean, he's being robbed. What did he do wrong, except for maybe not paying taxes illegal? I don't know, but you don't deserve to be robbed in a home invasion. And if you are, you have the right to defend yourself and shoot the hell out of that bastard.
100%.
Yes, and I wish that both.
100%.
I don't wish for anybody to be dead, but I wish both of those guys would learn a lesson. And the ultimate lesson to get them to stop doing it, guess what? The guy who's dead, he's not going to be robbing people anymore.
So the guy that was killed, Dominic Quintana, 32 of Watsonville, died in the city's first homicide this year. It could be that it's gaining some notoriety because of it being the first homicide for the year for Watsonville.
And it's a homicide.
Well, whenever I know. You know the difference between the 187 and all that.
I think a homicide is just that somebody has been, killed.
Of course.
It doesn't mean that it's a murder, quote unquote.
No. But they're tagging it as, right? Is he being charged with murder?
He's being charged with murder, yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's being charged with murder, and I think that's such crap.
My computator's not.
I get it, though. I get the idea that, the guys were running away. I get that. But you know what? The other day, there was a cop in San Francisco who stopped some gangsters, a group of, I don't know, they look like gangsters, thugs. And one of them takes off, and he has a gun, right? And the cop chases, he says, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" The guy takes off running, so the cop chases after him. He starts to pull out a gun. Cop, bang, shoots him right in the back. And people are saying, "Hey, you can't do that. You're shooting a guy who's running away from you." Yeah, but the guy had a gun. Don't you get that? He could kill somebody else at any time. The guy is a danger. And I think that this guy, I hope he beats whatever charges. I think
they're discussing it.
Crap.
They haven't fully...
Well, he's sitting in jail on $1 million bail while the real criminal is sitting in jail on $50,000 bail. That's what makes me mad.
Well, he didn't. I mean, the only thing he's guilty of is robbing somebody of their money and marijuana.
As far as our other topic, here's one. I understand the importance of the office of the President of the United States, but I feel the character of the person who is in office now is more important. We should always question and criticize them when appropriate. I agree, but what I'm saying is it's not appropriate to criticize them and mock them on the 4th of July in a parade. You don't do that to the President.
In Independence Day.
Yes, what did I say, 4th of July?
Well, same diff. I'm just saying.
Thank you, though. It is the Independence Day. To be clear, too many Republicans did not show respect for the office of the president when Obama was in office. Quite the opposite. So the Democrats learned from the Republicans. Fine, but it's fine. But still, have some respect for the president, no matter who it is, Democrat or Republican. Okay? Fine? Yes?
Well, you're just saying have respect for the office of the president, but a lot of people
I'm going to put that down as another vote for Dave.
At the presidency now as being bought and sold. And I'm sorry, who doesn't look at it like that? Yes, there's a lot of money involved in this whole situation. However, it's still an elected, he's still chief.
Yeah, I know. Let's see who's up next. Let's head out.
But if you go down to the very bottom of respect in this country, this state, this area, this generation, I'm going to put it all on them right now. I've gone to get a cup of coffee before and been asked for a tip before I get my coffee. There's a problem with that.
There's a problem with this thing.
The service is not good. And I'm being asked for a tip. I haven't even got my stinking coffee, lady. Give me a break.
479-1080. Let's see who's up next. It is Tim calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air.
Hi, Tim.
The winner by TKO, Dave,
Whatever.
right?
Yes.
It's his show. He's going to win anyway.
Oh, my God. Well, yeah, California seems to be like the criminals have more rights than the law-abiding citizens, you know what I'm saying? And, law enforcement, they will stop the threat until the threat is no longer a threat. They will gun you down, if you are a possible threat.
Mm-hmm.
These people were criminals. They came in there, they got exactly what they deserved.
Yes.
They should be killed. If you enter someone's house unlawfully with weapons, I'm sorry, but those guys did what they had to do to stop the threat. And until the threat was stopped, you don't stop. Who would we have rather it been? This guy and his family been killed? You know, come on. What, are you selling some herbs without a license? Come on, give me a break. What's going on around here?
That's what I say too, Tim. Thank you for your call, 479-1080, and that's one more for Dave.
This isn't part of the contest.
I should change my name to winner, and you could change your name to loser. Because, in the state of California, you can change things retroactively. So if you don't want to be a man on your license, you can change it to woman or chick or whatever it is.
I am a woman, and
so
it will
you can
always
change
be that
your name
way.
to
I'm never going to be changing it to man ever. And this isn't part of the contest, Dave.
DM at KSCO.com. Hey, check out my new website, flight1080.net. You're going to find podcasts. You're going to find a link to our Facebook and Twitter. You're going to find links to longevity videos if you want to learn more about longevity. Say you're ordering longevity and you're saying, hey, why am I not getting a commissions check?
Because you're not selling beyond tangerine.
What you're doing is you're doing something wrong.
Tangerine.
Check out flight1080.net and you'll find out why you're not getting those checks.
Oh, so you're giving tips on how to actually... Wow.
Yes.
And I just got the Tangy Tangerine 2.0, and I'm super excited. Dave said it tastes really good, and it's got... For the bulk of vitamins and minerals, it has 200% for your daily recommended. And I'm sorry, but I need it.
I am excited. For anytime somebody has not tried it, I get so excited for them. I have to control myself, and I have to pretend to be like, yeah, whatever.
And you can
but inside, I'm really going, God, I'm so excited for you. I just want to go up there and slap the hell out of them. Say, man, you're going to, this is what you're going to feel. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel exhilarated. You're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel pumped up. Tangy Tangerine, stop by, pick some up. I'll be out here till 8 p.m. tonight. If you want to stop by after the show, I'll be out there. I'll be out there at the Dave Cave until 8 p.m. tonight. After that, I'm going home.
And you can give it to kids. Not like little children, but
little goats.
You want to measure little goats.
All right. 479-1080. Let's see who's up first. Sean in Royal Oaks, you're in the air.
Hi, Sean.
Hello. Thanks for having me. So a couple things. I hope I'm on Eli's jury because he will be found not guilty.
Me too.
Second and foremost, so those guys went and got in their car, right, to leave. Now, how do you know that that's their true intent? How do you know they don't plan on kicking down the back door and coming back? Like the caller said before, the threat wasn't gone.
That's what I say too, Sean. That would be my argument 100% of the time. And I don't see how he's sitting in jail on $1 million bail while the real damn criminal, the documented criminal, is in jail on $50,000 bail. You only need 10%. You only need to put up 10% of the money to get out of jail. So this guy, his family could bail him out for $10,000, and the guy who's protecting his life and his family is sitting in jail, and he can't get out for less than $100,000 minimum. Cash, boom, got to have it or else you sit in jail. It's crap.
And shots were fired on the driveway, too. The gunfire was exchanged right on this guy's property.
Yeah, how do you exchange gunfire unless you're shooting back?
Exactly.
I got to say, though, unfortunately, I am not surprised. I mean, if you look at that guy that shot that girl on the San Francisco wharf and got away with it, it just doesn't surprise me. Criminals, get away with stuff, and law-abiding citizens do not. So sorry to hear that, man. I hope you were joking about being friends with him, and I'm sorry to hear about his luck.
Yeah, no, 479-1080. Thank you for your call, Sean. I wouldn't say we're tight friends, but I hung out with them a few times.
What's your text, Dave?
218-5726. That's 218-KSCO.
Thank you.
Here's one right here. It says, Dave is a winner. To honor his victory, I'll buy the tickets and beer at the Nickelback. We're not going to Nickelback. I'm not going to Nickelback with you, dude. I don't know who this guy is.
Wow, that was sweet.
But we're not going to see Nickelback.
He wants to take a tiger.
I was thinking about that name, and I don't think that's a good name for something. Because, somebody said that President Trump would call me a fat ass, and I don't like that term. I like something that would... Tiger, I think, is what you tell the women he's a tiger. They might think that I'm like some sexually aggressive guy, which I don't want. I want something that's cuddly.
Okay, bear.
And has a lot of muscle underneath that fur. Has a lot of muscle. He's a bear, right?
Okay, but...
Or maybe like like a sloth. How about a panda bear?
A panda? Wow,
a cute bear. Yeah.
So you're
like
a
koala
panda bear? No, koalas sleep all day, and so do pandas. You're a regular bear. When the salmon come upriver, you're swiping them with those big claws, the talons, really giant claws, like 6 inches long, and just So I would say bear, but, stick to the female community because you start going in other communities culturally.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Girl
okay.
only. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
No, the female bears. That's what I want.
You want a female bear? You want a mama bear?
Mama bear. 479-1080. Let's head out to Santa Cruz. Chris, you're in the air.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, guys. I got a story for you. I was living in Hawaii for a little while. I'm from here originally. Moved back. But I was in Hawaii for about 15 years. And I had a friend come out to Hawaii from Oxnard, and he moved his family. And back in the 80s, Oxnard was pretty, had some pretty bad areas. Lots of gang violence. Schools were not that great. And so he moved to the Big Island and wanted to kind of start his life over and kind of be safe with his family. And some guys broke into his house and tried to rob his house. And he shot 2 of them and killed them. Another one got away. And in Hawaii, they pretty much just let him walk because he was defending his domain, and obviously he wasn't involved in selling weed. And I can see where that might come into where it has to be investigated at least. But if you're in your home and you're protecting yourself and your family and your property, then the guy should be let go. That's what I think.
I agree with you too, Chris. 479-1080. Can we count those as wins from the last contest?
This isn't
You're
part
gonna
of
lose?
the contest.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, loser has to buy the other guy dinner at the most expensive place in Santa Cruz.
Well, and I'd like to say from the last caller, it sounds like the mentality there is different where, you're part of the whole situation. So that's why maybe there's we're not seeing that kind of leniency here because we don't have that kind of mentality here in California, really, where, yes, it was an activity, but there were 2 parties involved. Right. California is more, we're taking this one party, we're going to put all the blame on them. We don't have some of the blame going to the person who was actually just kind of a bystander, in which case Elias probably wouldn't be charged with that severe crime.
Yeah. 479-1080. We're going to break real quickly. We're going to break for local news and traffic. Keep it tuned in. KSCO Santa Cruz. You guys.
People are talking on AM 1080 KSCO.
You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. 479-1080 is the number. 218-5726 with your text messages. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and check out our new website, flight1080.net, which is better than nothing. It ain't quite there yet, but it's better than nothing.
Does it have your picture on there?
It does, probably. All right, let's shorten up this. We shortened the commercial break. How do you like that, Danielle? Who is bringing us Flight 1080? How's that? Let's do that. Let's get that out of the way.
JM Electric.
JM Electric.
Local news is brought to you by JM Electric in Santa Cruz, Monterey, and San Benito counties. Spring is the season. I want to say summer is the season
yes.
for home safety. Find out how JM Electric can make your home safe from electrical hazards. Call JM Electric today for a free, no obligation electrical assessment at 422-7819. That's 422-7819. JM Electric.
Thank you very much, Danielle. 479-1080. All right, let's get out to the phone calls. Enough hanging around, enough goofing around, enough dilly-dallying and humpersnicking.
Humpersnicking.
I don't know what that means, but that's enough of that stuff.
That's your word?
Yeah.
Do you have a word of the day?
Yeah.
Karen used to read a list of words. I always thought that was great.
That is cool, right?
Right. I'm just looking at this longevity beyond tangy,
do you know what
tangerine.
hobnobbing is?
Hobnobbing?
Yeah, do you want to know what hobnobbing is?
Go for it.
Hobnobbing, the definition of hobnobbing is socializing with people who are in a higher class.
Like they're
socially.
rich?
Yeah, they're rich, they're influential. Yes, when you're hobnobbing, you're not just hanging out with people like me and you. You're hanging out with people like MZ or like people like...
Yeah. No, I get it. Dave just cracked himself up.
479-1080. Hey, check this out. Flight1080.net, I have some podcasts, so check this out. Hello, Dave. I just listened to your podcast from the other day when you invited Hispanics who voted for Trump to call you. I voted for Trump because of his stances on immigration, taxes, jobs, Israel, anti-abortion, and most of all, America First mentality. You also invited Hispanics who didn't vote for Trump to call, but nobody called in. And I think I know why. Most of them, oh no.
Can you read it?
Language barrier, let's just say that. Language barrier. Most of the Hispanics are against Trump that I've talked to are very poorly informed. They only go by what the media tells them, mostly Univision, Telemundo, and the Spanish radio stations, which are always bashing Trump. And I've never talked to one of them that has done his or her own research and come to their own conclusion. Neither have I, man, to tell you the truth. They just repeat what you hear on social media. They're not the only ones, though. They are stuck on the one thing only, immigration, because it affects them or their loved ones. Well, that's a pretty good reason. But yes, they are stuck on that. Excellent program that day. Well, what about today?
Still excellent.
All right. I also changed the station when I changed the station when
whenever I come on. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing, Billy.
That's what we call professional radio. You are good, Dave.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you.
So, Dave, you're 1 for 2 today.
Okay.
Obviously, I agree with you about the shooting thing.
Oh,
you're just right about that.
Right.
But you're just wrong about the idea that there's a time and a place to protest.
Yeah, tell me your view on this, Billy.
There's just the time and place to protest is whenever you can.
How about this?
There is no one gets.
You could do it at any other time other than a parade, in which is supposed to celebrate our country, celebrate the founding of our country. That's not the time to criticize.
If you
the
love
president.
our country, then you need to get rid of a president who allows, a guy like Scott Pruitt, who, by the way, I want to read you, if I have a second,
sure.
A little bit of his resignation letter to the presidents. Would you like to hear that?
Yeah, sure. Scott Pruitt resigned today. By the way, he is head of the Environmental Protection Agency, right?
Right.
Okay.
So he writes, you have blessed me. My desire and service to you has always been to bless you as you make important decisions for the American people. I believe you are serving as president today because of God's providence. And I believe that same providence brought me into your service.
Okay.
Oh, boy. God put him there, huh?
So what?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, yes, I just think, again, it's just we have so little opportunity for Americans to speak and be heard anywhere at all. We get to hear the president say whatever he says, and then we don't get to challenge him.
Are you kidding me, Billy?
I just think that
that's all you see every single freaking day, man, is Trump bashing. What are you talking about?
Well,
that's all we see every day. Where do you see anybody saying, hey, this is our great president? Nobody. Where
you say it all the time.
Yeah, but is that on CNN? Is that on any of these mainstream? Is that, being out there broadcasted to the same magnitude as the anti-Trump stuff, Billy?
No, because it's probably not true. You see what I mean? The difference is that, there's a reason why the Republican Party, for example, has shrunk, and all the leaders of the Republican Party say, hey, vote Democrat in December, that Trump himself is damaging the country. The reason you wanted him in here, which was to, make things better, kick out the old way, it wasn't working for us all, that is all true. But it turns out he was the wrong guy to fix things because he's a selfish person. He's only interested in himself. The idea that it's more important to make profit than to keep our rivers clean, I don't think you agree with that, do you?
I do not agree with that, Billy. You're absolutely right.
And yet,
I don't
that's
think
what we've got in Pruitt. And now, by the way, we're out of the firing pin into the fire. The new guy who's right under him is a coal lobbyist.
Oh, there you go. Maybe you guys should stop. Be careful of what you ask for. Maybe you should live by that.
Okay.
Thank you for your call, Billy.
God bless you, Billy.
Don't tell him that. He's going to explode into flames. 218-5726 with your text messages. 831 is area code. Christina is calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air, Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Yeah. Yay, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Sure.
So, Dave, your partner in crime there, she gets a negative point for something she said earlier.
Okay, good.
Danielle, right?
Good. She only has 1 point, so I'm going to take it away.
He's going to take my point
All
away.
right.
There you go.
All right. So, earlier you complained about having to pay a tip before getting your coffee, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what that tip is an acronym?
Yes.
Is it?
Do you know what it means?
To ensure promptness.
prompt
It's actually
service.
from France.
What?
It's called
Yes.
Respondes.
In other words, you pay the tip in advance, so they give you prompt service.
Yeah, but I wasn't getting any service at all. So
But don't.
I'm not going to be paying
Okay,
a tip
I'll
in
give you
advance.
that. So only negative half point.
All right.
Only negative half point.
Thank you for the
you.
call, Christina Force. What does it mean? Tip means what?
To ensure promptness.
To ensure, but ensure starts with the E, not with an I.
You can interchange those. It's okay.
No, you cannot. I'm sorry, you cannot.
It's all right. And American traditionally, you give a tip after the service, not before. And it's as the coffee or sandwich or whatever is coming to you.
Yeah, well, no, not for me.
No. You don't, do you tip?
Huh?
Do you tip?
What? Let's head out to, I think it's Boulder Creek. Boulder Creek. Is it? No, wait. It's in Santa Cruz. Is it BC or DC? Okay, we have, so hang up the, not hang up, don't hang up the phone. Turn off the radio because there's an 8-second delay. So we're heading out to Santa Cruz to pick up, I don't know if it's BC or DC. You're in the air.
Oh, hey, yeah, I got some bad news for you.
Okay.
About your friend that shot his assailants in the driveway. In California, if somebody's stealing or robbing your house, and you're allowed to shoot him if he's in the house doing the act. But if he's running away, if you shoot them from behind, then you're up for murder.
Yeah, I know, but first of all, is it BC as in boy or DC as in dangerous?
BC.
Oh, nice. That used to be one of my best friend's name. I haven't heard that for a long time. And I know what you're saying, too. But what I would argue, like, I'm going to put on my lawyer suit here, and I would say that this guy still had a gun, and as evidenced by the actions of his friend who pulled the gun out on the cops, these guys never stopped posing a danger. So it was fair game to shoot them. As long as they have guns, guess what? They can turn around and shoot back. They were never out of danger, and you keep firing until that SOB is dead. That guy just came in and was willing to kill you and your family.
You'd be surprised.
I know.
The new laws in California. If they're headed out, you're not allowed to detain them.
I know, dude. I know. It's such
Ridiculous.
crap, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one win for me. Thank you for your call, BC.
This isn't
You're
part
getting
of the
slaughtered, girl. You owe me so much money.
I agree with you.
Now forget dinner. You just owe me money.
Are you going to put my hash mark on your side,
you
too?
got half a point. Here. You got half a point.
Half a point.
479-1080-218-5726. Let's head out to our. Let's go to. Let's check our emails.
You're going to look for an email, or
wait.
do people send you emails?
Ooh, look, this guy confirmed.
What?
This guy confirmed. Ryan is with an organization called lifeaftergod.org. And Ryan has agreed to come in and debate one of my co-hosts here. And I am going to set him up with, I believe, a good match for him would be my friend Brenton Powers.
What's the topic?
The topic will be religion. It's going to be great, man. We have something scheduled for the 20th, which is going to be knockout. This is going to be like a steel cage match. This is going to be fantastic. It's going to be great,
move
man.
all
I'm
the
excited.
chairs and stuff.
You better
out of
you
here.
better circle the calendar now.
Yeah.
I think it's Friday, 20th.
July 20th.
Where's our calendar?
We lost
Whatever it is, circle that day because that is a day you're going to want to listen to KSEO. That is going to be badass.
There you go.
How
again.
about Badger? Is that a good description of a
No.
for a man who's
No,
muscular but a
no.
little fluffy, but
What are
really
you-
muscular,
that's
a little hairy on his back and his toes. He's got a lot of hair on his. But a
I'm
Badger?
going to say no.
No.
So July 20th is a Friday this year. Badger, no, because then someone's going to think you're a honey badger and that you like to do stuff and you just go nuts while you're doing it. You just like throw stuff around, and
Start
just,
throwing socks and.
once it gets done, then you'll have this beautiful whatever erected or situated, but
Right.
then you have trash all around you because you've just been honey badger.
Okay, not honey badger there.
No, I think panda bear's okay. Bear's better because slicing and getting those salmon as they come up the river.
Bring them to the girl bear and share it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bring it to the girl bear show. Exactly.
Yeah. 218-5726. Carelessly discharging firearms from both parties in a neighborhood. Innocent people could have killed possibly children. That's what I say. Again, these guys, listen, the rules for a cop is they are not supposed to shoot a suspect who is fleeing away unless he poses a danger to somebody else, right? So if he's running away and he's got a knife and he's running down the freeway, you're not supposed to shoot him because he's not going to do anything.
But these guys
if he's running down the freeway and he has a gun,
driveway.
you shoot him because guess what? He just shot at you, and if he's going to shoot at a cop, he's liable to shoot at anybody.
Right.
Right? The danger never ceased. That would be my argument. So again, the case I'm talking about is a case out of Watsonville. One guy's being charged with murder. He's being held on $1 million bail. The real the guy who went in there to commit a home invasion, got into a shootout with them, is sitting in jail on $50,000 bail. That's such crap because if you've been in jail and you've needed to make bail, you know that you only need to post 10%. So the guy with no criminal record who was robbed cannot get out of jail unless he posts either $1 million or $100,000. He's got to post either one.
And they're saying discuss.
The guy who went in there,
they haven't decided yet. They're discussing murder charges.
he's sitting in jail.
Okay.
You can call it what you want, but
you can sit in jail for quite some time, but before they actually assess charges to you. But they're discussing to bump it up to murder for sure. It's not self-defense. I know that much.
Okay. 218-5726. Let's keep reading text messages. If you watch the movie Felon, it is the same story as your friend, the guy protecting his family and killed the robber, and they charged him with murder, and he goes to San Quentin Penitentiary. Ooh, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't work out like that. 218-5726. Debate Joshua. That's what's going to happen on the 20th. He's going to be part of that mix-up there.
So one of the guys was on parole, violating parole. Ledesma, who police accused of violating parole, tried to run from authorities. That's the guy who was actually given the lower...
Ledesma,
this lower sentence.
And does it have his record there?
No, but it does say that he was charged in 93 with burglary and receipt of stolen property. Court documents did not list the results of that case. But again, I'm going to say the notoriety of the cachet of being Watsonville's first homicide 7 months into the year is probably fueling the issues of the decision, unfortunately. And again, it's not the actual acts that happened that they're meriting or discrediting. They're using these other items, these other, newsworthy items that come in.
479-1080. If you live in Watsonville, you live in Santa Cruz. If you are living, then you should care about this, right? Yes? No? Yes?
I agree. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. That's why I brought it up. To me, it makes me. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous, and it's not appropriately distributed justice. I don't know if that's a legal term or not, but listen. One guy went in there with every intention to murder an innocent person. The other one is an innocent person with every intention to murder a murderer or to kill a murderer.
Well,
and the one that the innocent guy is the one who is being held on $1 million bail. I mean, holy crap, dude!
And they did this shortly before 8 p.m., so it wasn't even dark outside.
Right, it was broad daylight, a broad daylight home invasion robbery. They went in there, robbed the guy, got into a shootout, go running out of the house. They get shot dead.
Yeah,
479-1080.
It's a sticky. It's a very sensitive issue. You have death, gunfire, pot, illegal activities just abound in that situation.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we do now? You want to go to Santa Cruz Sentinel? You want to check out what's happening in the Santa Cruz Sentinel?
Go for it. There's lots happening in the Santa Cruz Sentinel. Are you going to op-ed?
Yes, I like this part.
You like the op-ed?
So today's Sentinel kicked the whole thing off. Page 3, you're going to see that guy in the parade. That's what got it all started.
Did you find out if he was actually allowed to be in the parade for that? I think he was a walk-on. You're Dave Michaels.
Well, I don't know I don't know how he got permission to be there. Would you give permission to somebody who said, "Hey, this is what I'm going to wear"? No. Neither would I.
So I'm not even in a contest with you at this point.
I know, but the contest is over. There's no hope. You've lost big time in this one.
Well, okay. I'll take it, but stop calling me a loser.
Rent control proposal is causing shrinking. What?
Rent control
is causing a shrinking market. So check this out.
Shrinking market. They raised rents last year 17%. 17%. A one-bedroom now is going for $1,800 to $2,100 in Santa Cruz. Are you kidding me with this?
Not everyone is on board with rent control.
Now I'm mad.
everyone I talk to is dumbfounded by it. Here are a few thoughts on assertions made by Jim Weller on a recent op-ed. Unintended consequences of rent control. No, I guess that was the title. I urge all voters to read The Massive Tomb of Rent Control, legalize and make up your own mind what will happen if it passes. Capital flight / shrinking market, you bet. My wife and I are preparing to put our rental house, this is the part that caught my attention. My wife and I are preparing to put our rental house up for sale, and friends of ours are doing the same.
How is this person even allowed to write on rent control right now? Because they're a property owner. Don't even get me started on this topic.
This
is like you're reading my mind or something.
This is what I hear.
Take my brains out.
I'm going to sell my property because I'm a big baby.
I'm going to sell one of
right?
5.
So listen. Yeah, I'm going to sell one of my 5 houses because we can't make no money. Well, that's a good thing. How does that end up being a bad thing? You know what you're going to have? You're going to have somebody locally who owns a house. How is that a bad thing? Again, somebody explain to me how rent control is a bad thing for renters. If you're a property owner and you're out there and you make your living renting, 20 houses, then yeah, it's going to affect you. But for the renters, the ones who can't make it, the ones who don't even have one house, it's good for them. My wife and I are preparing to put our rental house up for sale, and friends of ours are doing the same. Oppressed majority, there are a few more state tenant protection laws than there are landlord protections. You would like to stop a financial study of the impact of rent control? Very interesting that you do not want the public to know the impact rent control will really have on their own town. Really? Keith, something out.
Well, I think in a few decades, what they're going to see is a totally different town. It's no longer going to be.
We're going to find out.
It's not going to be the surf community kind of laid back situation anymore. People are going to really vie for these opportunities to get into a house. And that's really what it is, opportunity, and either buying or renting. But spiking the rents at this point, you're going to end up, I think one of your co-hosts last week was talking about, you're going to end up with multiple families in these homes instead of the ones, a smaller group inside your house, your rental house, your property, your thing that you own. It's not going to be what they think it is. In 2 decades, in 10 years, we're seeing it now. We're going to end up with a bunch of people who own properties on the rent control, a lot of renters in this area, nobody actually living here anymore permanently. We're going to have a lot of tourists because I don't care what people say. What I've seen walking in my community at times, a lot of people are saying this house is for rent, but it really is. It functions as an Airbnb. They're doing vacation rentals in areas where they're not supposed to do it anymore.
479-1080-21857. It's not just people that are having a hard time with housing. Pets are too.
Right?
Homeless pets. Check this out. I just got a PSA from the SPCA. That's a public service announcement from the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, I think is what it means. SPCA.
Nice. You did a good job.
That is what it means, huh?
Yeah.
The SPCA Kids Camp is an animal immersive. Wow. I sound like a fool reading it. Let me try it again. The SPCA Kids Camp is an animal immersive experience that teaches students about the care of companion animals, the plight of homeless animals in our community, and the compassion for all life. These concepts are taught through games, crafts, hands-on animal presentation, animal solicitation, and training and community service. There's 2 sessions left with available room, July 23rd to the 27th. These are for 5th through 7th graders, and August 6th through the 10th.
That's so cool.
For a full week of camp, $275. That's $275 for an animal immersion summer camp with animals. That's so cute. What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is a panda bear. I'm kidding. No, my favorite
a fish
animal is a chinchilla, and
those are so
Shiba
soft.
Inu, which is
soft.
My dog Molly, I lost years ago, really. We and her just got along great. All animals are friendly. And this is from a former friend of mine. I'd like to say he's the only Mexican I was ever closer than friends with, which is hilarious to all my other friends. Anyways, I'm still really close with his sister, but he had this little terrier. His name was Kid, and he was about the size of an iPad. And he and I would go running in the morning, and that little dog was just the best animal. He was so cute and friendly and protective. But the thing that I liked the most, when I would come home from work, he'd run around in a circle really fast, like showing off.
That's cute.
It was so cute. But the other thing he would do is super sneaky. If I would cook breakfast, he'd get up on the table, because I had this room divider for the dining room, living room, very quietly, and eat all the bacon and eggs that were sitting on the table.
I would too. 47910. Hey, we got a call from Dean Sutton. Dean's calling from Santa Cruz. Hey, Dean, thank you for your call.
Oh, hi, Dean.
Hi, Dave. I'm just checking in. I want to invite people to listen tonight. All of this talk about the new Supreme Court justice has got everybody all fired up about Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talking about it weren't even born yet when it happened. So I thought, angels, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. I'd like to invite people. We're going to talk about the Roe versus Wade decision, what the court said, what they didn't say, how they got to where they got. If anybody would like to talk about it, we'll do it from 8 to 9 on Law of the Land.
That sounds great, Dean. So now, remind me, now the people are concerned that the new slot being made that's going to be filled, being vacated by Kennedy, is going to be a conservative, and that this might somehow jeopardize the Roe versus Wade ruling, which essentially legalized abortion, correct? So some people think that the legalization of abortion is now in danger. Or could
That's absolutely right. That's what a lot of people are saying all over the political spectrum, from right and left. They're banging on each other one way or the other, and it's just amazing.
Well, is it fear-mongering? Is it fear-mongering? I mean, is this a possibility? Or do we have to wait till the show?
Well, I think it's possible. The decision was 7-2 back in the day, but that was a long time ago. That was 1973, and it's been really clear that we're more in tribes and camps now, you versus us, and that conservative judges, quote unquote, are more likely to find a way to read Roe versus Wade in a very either reduced or just throw it out completely.
Well, I guess we'll wait from 8 to 9, Law of the Land with Dean Sutton.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Dean. Good luck to you. Break a leg, as
Bye.
they say. 479-1080. That's Dean Sutton. I didn't want to ask him too many questions because, that's the reason to listen to the show. But I would ask him, can they change laws retroactively? I mean, once something is law, it's law, right? Or no? Otherwise, what's the point of having law?
Right.
Yes.
So somebody was asking me about this the other day, about just the whole issue and pro-life and, abortion and all this stuff. And my response was, I think it's great that people are discussing this again, because I think it's one of the more distinct or distinguished topics politically to make a decision on, meaning that people have emotional, psychological, and they do educate themselves. They get the education in schools now. You can go to a clinic and get educated. Groups come in that volunteer, and you can really get on board with a political issue. And if this is new for you, politics, this might be a topic that you can really wrap yourself around and make a very well-educated statement, stand, pick a side. And I think this is a good topic to do that.
Hey, don't you have ears? Can't you hear what's playing? That means it's time to go. That means we have to wrap it up. 218-5726. Check this out. BTW. I don't know what that means. Keep Danielle. Best shows are with her. There's balance there.
By the way.
218. What?
BTW. By the way.
I think that means she's losing.
This is KSCO, Santa Cruz, Monterey, Salinas.
$479-1080. That's 831-479-1080. 218-5726 with your text messages. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and at flight1080.net. If you want to find out why you haven't been getting paid, even though you're buying your longevity products, check out the videos there. You will learn everything that you need to know to get started with longevity and how to become a distributor. The videos, the stuff that you really, really need to know are posted there. Flight1080.net. Check it out. Okay. 218-5726. I'm out of show ideas. I am out of show ideas, Danielle. So now what?
What's this book, Highway 17?
Oh, yeah. I want to talk about that.
Wow.
Check this out. It says...
Highway 17, The Road to Santa Cruz, Richard A. Beale.
I tried to get an interview with him, and he's couldn't do it for one reason or another.
This is your book?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that how you pronounce it? Book? I always thought it was a boak.
You have a book?
Wow. Boak.
This is
book,
fantastic.
Huh?
I have the one for Aptos and Capitola, Santa Cruz, but I haven't seen this. I don't like to venture out much because I work with the public a lot. Basically, I just don't have a lot of patience for the public. So it's not a boak. Dave, look at my face. It's a book.
It's not a boak.
Not a boak.
Okay.
A book.
218-5726. Lighten the show up, Dave. Ask your co-host some music trivia. One of my favorite segments. I guess we're getting too deep on that other one.
Too deep? Yeah,
we had pretty gnarly.
We had policy.
Okay, here we go.
We had the president, parade, guns, violence, marijuana. We had all.
Well, the next topic I wanted to talk about. Was a ruling that came out from I don't know. I guess it was the state Supreme Court that handed Trump a loss, and basically withheld California's sanctuary state policy, saying that California was not impeding the law, or this is my basic understanding, was not impeding the federal government from enforcing the law. All it was doing was not helping. And there's a big difference between not helping and making things worse or impeding. So the judge basically said, the way it's written, there's no problem with California continuing to promote the sanctuary city law. The thing that the court did side with Trump on was the court said
no
it was wrong. It was wrong for the state of California. If you're an employer if you're an employer, yes, you're hiring people. If you're an employer and you cooperate with the feds, with ICE, if you cooperate with them, you could face a heavy fine. The state of California does not want you, the employer, to cooperate with ICE. Well, the court said that's crap. You can't do that. The court said the state of California cannot fine businesses for cooperating with ICE. As a matter of fact, the businesses do have to cooperate with ICE, and you, the state, had better not punish them for doing so. That's what came down today.
So this is an oxymoronic win in a way.
Oh, it's kind of a win-loss, and I get it.
Cancel.
I get it. The judge says there's a difference between not helping and making things worse. The state is not helping. They're not making things worse. They're just simply not helping, and that's cool. What it did say, though, again, was that employers, you, the state of California, cannot punish the employers for cooperating with ICE. That's
with the federal entity.
Right, with the federal entity. You cannot do that. So there you go. That's what I wanted to talk about. But
that's your lightening the load. That's
that's what I'm going to skip. But I want to inform people that this is what's going on. Right? I want to let you know that Flight 1080 is just not about kitten jokes and flipping bears.
Panda bears.
Panda bears. How about a water bear? Have you ever seen a water bear? They're really tough.
Okay, regular bears like black bears and brown bears, they swim in the water. A polar bear.
You've seriously never seen a water bear?
What is it?
It is a tiny, I think they're microscopic organisms that are extremely tough. So they've traveled through space and have been frozen and come back to life. But you think I'm making this up?
No, but earlier it was about appearance's sake. This
but this is about being resilient and long lasting.
Okay, you can't have both animals. You can't be a bear 8 feet tall and weighing 500 pounds and then microscopic be amazing too. You can only pick the one animal. Now, if you want to combo it up and that be your chupacabra, and then that's the animal that you want people to call you, I say go for it. So you're going to be a brown water bear.
All right.
You're going to morph into a brown water bear.
479. So what is your favorite air animal? What kind of question is this, guy?
Like a hummingbird?
Who is this? Who wrote this? Land animal.
Land animal?
Yes, what's your favorite animal? Come on, hurry up, hurry.
Me?
Yes, come on.
I told you a chinchilla.
Favorite sea animal?
Otter.
Your favorite extinct animal?
The velociraptor.
Wrong. You got it all wrong.
How?
Well, good job, guys. Whoever sent that in. There's your contest. 479-1080. Maybe I did a bad job hosting that segment. The California court decision will be overturned, just like always, by a real court that isn't staffed by liberal people. 218-5726. That's text message line.
I like
Hello. So, let's lighten up the load, okay? Oh, but hey, how come you didn't ask me what my favorite animal
What's your favorite animal?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Not extinct, living right now.
Cats. By far, cats.
What kind of cat?
Cats because they're cuddly and they're cute, but yet they're deadly and vicious.
Extinct.
Favorite extinct animal? The dinosaur.
Which dinosaur?
The Ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus?
Yes. What do you think about that?
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I was thinking about this. The
Water
other day, too.
animal.
The the dolphin. Because they're a good football team.
Air animal.
Favorite air animal? Puffin. Because they populate an island that is currently in dispute between Canada and the United States. We're beefing over an island that has a big population of puffins. And the country of Canada says, hey, you have no right to tell us what to do on this island. These are international waters. We could sail around wherever. And the United States says, no.
Name of the island?
I don't know. I have it on our Facebook page, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this water bear. Interesting.
Pretty cool, right?
8 legs.
Yes. Pretty cool. 479-1080. So I was thinking, the Ankylosaurus is this kind of, it looks like Mr. Burns. Right? The head looks like Mr. Burns, except instead of a bald head, it has this armored plate. And it has horns around the armored plate. And same thing with its back, if you can imagine a turtle shell with armored horns going around it, right? A very horny shell, very tough shell. That's cool. That's a good defense, right? So I'm walking through the forest, and I'm thinking, boy, humans have pretty crappy self-defense.
Oh, it's got that cool tail that it can whip and just wham.
The
with
water
the
bear?
spears. No, the Ankylosaurus.
Oh yeah, you're looking at that's a cool one, right? It's
The
like a
coolest.
club with these nails hanging out. It's a cool animal. Great defenses. Some animals are not that lucky. Here's an example. The banana slug.
So pretty.
What is his defense? His defense is he tastes like crap. His defense is basically this: hey, if you eat me, I taste real bad.
Well, and they're
Well,
bright
how about
yellow.
how about a defense that prevents me from getting eaten in the first place?
They're bright yellow.
That's not a defense. Listen, a defense keeps you from being eaten.
I
A
think.
defense doesn't work after you've been eaten, right? So if you're going to give the animal an upset stomach, that's not a very good defense.
Okay, well, one of them frightened me one time when I had my Volkswagen convertible with the black top. I went out there, and literally, it was probably 4 inches long and an inch wide. This Mondo banana slug was on top of my cover, and it just freaked me because here's my black convertible
Did you shoot
cover.
it?
No, but I didn't know if hadn't read up on the banana slug, so I didn't know if it had spikes. I didn't know if it was
Well,
poisonous.
you're a Marine. You should have shot it. Blow that
I'm not going to
bastard off
shoot
your car.
right and hurt my car.
Whatever.
Negative.
Whatever. Boy, these people are not laughing at my jokes.
I might shoot
So
that.
what's the matter with you?
Ankylosaurus.
How about this? So I was also driving through Highway 17. I love to go driving down Highway 17 this weekend. I had a chance when I didn't have Mariah with me, and so I had those early hours to go do whatever I wanted to do. I'm an early bird. I wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'm looking for something to do. So on this day, I get out and I start driving around. And I have this book right here. It's called Highway 17, The Road to Santa Cruz. You were just talking about it. Sorry about that. And this has a lot of local history, and I like to go drive looking for these things, like Laurel Tunnel, Wright's Tunnel. I like to look for Mountain Charlie Road. I like to look for all these things. These are great stories that are up in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and there's still remnants of it. If you go up there and look at these roads, you can still see some of this stuff. Here's a tip. If you're driving over Highway 17 northbound, just before you hit the summit, before you hit Casa de whatever they call it now, there's a little road off to the right.
I've seen it.
Let me see, what's the name of that road? I don't know what it's called, but it takes you to Old Santa Cruz Highway.
Right.
If you take that road, man, you are going to be in for a beautiful trip. I mean, it is an absolutely beautiful ride. So I drive this way. I drive that way. And that was the wrong way, so I made a U-turn and went back this way. And I go down Aldercroft Heights. Okay? Because I recognize that name. I recognize the name Aldercroft, a very distinctive name. That leads to Alma Bridge Road, right?
Okay.
And I even see Alma Bridge.
This is daylight?
It is
Morning
daylight. Yes,
light.
a beautiful morning, early morning.
Where
Absolutely
the sun's
beautiful.
coming up, looking amazing.
If you want to picture where this is, imagine you're at the Lexington Reservoir, right? You're driving towards San Jose,
Okay.
and off to your right, on the other side of the Lexington Reservoir, there is a road that drives all along there, and that is the area that I was driving in. Right, so it's the Lexington Reservoir, but not on the freeway side. It's on the other side. Alma Bridge. Alma is one of the cities, along with Lexington, that was flooded to create that reservoir. Right, Alma is the name of the town, one of the towns that was flooded. If you go out there, you can still see parts of that city. It's really, really cool.
Very historic.
Yes, and if you want to take a simpler way, it's kind of dangerous to get back onto the freeway, though, doing this. So I really hesitate telling people about this. Let's see. Would you like to hear some history? This looks kind of boring.
Well, let's hear some of your boring history.
Yeah. About a mile south of Lexington, Alma boasted a stagecoach station, hotel, store, and 6 lumber mills. Founded by Lysander Collins in the 1860s, Collins took lumber instead of wages from the Howe Mill where he worked and used the lumber to create the first buildings. That is in Alma. The village became known as Alma by edict from the U.S. Post Office. Alma is Spanish for soul. Soul as in, your spirit or your soul. And was regarded as the soul of the Redwood area. Incidentally, the same postal inspector is also responsible for the name Patchen. Patchen is up there near the summit of Highway 17. As Alma prospered, Lexington declined. By 1905, Alma was only a flag stop on the railroad, meaning that the train only stopped if someone at the station waved a flag indicating that there was a reason to stop. At one time, the land was owned or known as Fish Ranch. Dr. Tevis spent about $750,000 on building the grounds. He grew rare flowers and shrubs. At the height of fame, Tevis Gardens boasted prize-winning giant dahlias, lilies, roses, fuchsias, and nandia shrubs. All those were flooded by the reservoir. So if you look at the reservoir off to the side, they used to hold these beautiful gardens along with the town of Alma and Lexington. They all got flooded in creating Lexington Reservoir.
It's all about the water here.
Highway 17, and that's another thing, too. If you look at who owns that property, the nail in the coffin for those towns was when San Jose Water Company purchased the property. San Jose Water Company purchased it, built the reservoir, and now no one can walk on any of that property. It is now off limits. Highway 17 routing went right through these prized gardens. Gardeners from the University of Santa Clara, aided by California Conservation Corps crews, tried to save the gardens out there. Tevis Gardens near Alma, and took them to the campus for replanting. There you go. So they saved the flowers out there.
Well, that would be, because I know that Atascadero, Perdascadero, they have some beautiful gardens and farms out there with the dahlias, those giant ones. They're
I don't know
gorgeous.
what a dahlia is.
It's a giant flower, and it has individual petals. They almost look like just like little wisps, and they have vibrant colors. My favorite is like a dark purple. Just gorgeous colors.
479-1080. That's a little history about out there on the highway. I want to talk about all those towns because there's so much history out there.
So why do you drive in the morning like that, or when you have free
because there's
time,
less traffic
and it just kind of frees your mind?
It's beautiful out there, yeah. And those early morning hours are beautiful. When you drive out there, you get a sense for history. You get a sense for how it was. It's cold in the mornings, so you could picture people, cutting down trees and actually burning them, actually using a fireplace, which is beautiful. I love a fireplace. It just feels so nice to drive through there. If you want to go for a nice ride, I suggest Alma Bridge Road. How's
Alma
that?
Bridge, okay.
479-1080. If you have any tips, driving tips, because I love to go for drives like that. If you have any tips, I would love to hear them. 218-5726.
Well, you hike in Nicene too,
I do
right?
hike, yes.
And
yes.
Have you've been to that area there where they had the logging,
yeah,
and the different? You could still see the rails or the tracks
yes.
there.
Yes, Nicene Marks is beautiful too.
Love that park.
A great place to go for a hike. 218-5726. Back to defense, animal defenses. Porcupine. Now, see, that's a good defense, right? So that prevents you from being eaten. Whereas tasting like crap doesn't work until after you've been eaten.
Well,
That
so
is a crappy defense.
What would you call a bright yellow slug with the pines on them, the porcupine, like a quill on its back? We could just create a new animal, new hybrid.
That's weird.
Animal.
479-1080, 218-5726, DM at ksco.com.
Definitely not cuddly.
See what happens when you try to lighten up the show? Nobody calls. Nobody calls. Nobody cares.
Nobody
wants to
cares
hear
about
that
that.
stuff.
Well, call and tell us your favorite animal, or text your favorite animal.
Or your favorite place to drive. That's what I really want to know.
Oh, yeah.
What am I going to do with your favorite animal?
Well, you
Right,
know,
a
my favorite
nice road to go driving. Now that's something I
my
can
favorite
use.
place to drive right now is to go to like the city on Highway 1.
Oh, beautiful ride.
Pigeon
God,
Point.
I love that ride.
Mid-afternoon when it's been a little cool in the morning because they have that
Yes.
the morning layer there still kind of sitting, and then the afternoon kind of comes back. It is stunningly beautiful.
I absolutely agree.
I don't drive
Highway,
fast.
Highway 1 north of Davenport. After you pass Davenport, it is just beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Just absolutely beautiful. Also, Highway 1 heading south towards Big Sur is beautiful, too. Once you make it past Carmel.
Let me tell you something, though. I can't
gorgeous.
go over that bridge.
It freaks me out.
I can't do
Driving
it.
along those cliffs freaks me out, too.
No, I'm serious. I fully just... I'm getting old. Something's happening. It's not good.
Really?
I can't do that bridge.
What
I
a
get
chicken.
scared.
You're such a chicken.
I'm a baby now.
Wow.
I have
what a big baby.
Future to think about. No, it just scares me. It's almost death defying. I'm not one of those. I've jumped out of a plane one time. That was just idiotic. I will never do that again. I don't even like being on top of ladders. It's just not a good situation for me. I'll freak.
4719. How about a liger? They have good defense mechanisms, right?
Liger?
A liger, yes.
How do you spell it?
Between a tiger and a lion. Lion and tiger.
Are you making it up?
No, it's a real animal. I thought it was made up too, but that is a real animal. I started this whole animal discussion. Now it's you, huh? I stand by the seahorse, lion, and a bad pterodactyl. Pterodactyl was his favorite animal.
Pterodactyl?
Yes. You know what? You're weird.
I'm
How's
weird?
that sound?
Oh, you're telling the caller?
No, I'm telling you.
Oh,
the caller is that he
I won't
helps me
say
out.
that I'm weird. My son calls me. My son Marty. He's a retired Navy person, and he calls me L7 swear bear. Like, okay, I play Scrabble with my kids. I haven't in a while, but we used to play, and we'd have like 2 or 3 dictionaries because they'd always try and sneak in a word that wasn't legit, and we full on have arguments about it.
Oh, I hate it when they do that.
For like 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, forget about the peace and harmony that was going on because we were playing a board game and not a video game. We're fighting over one word.
479-1080. How about a gun as for self-defense? That would be cool, right? But it doesn't always work.
Yeah, I prefer just to use some good old-fashioned, self-defense moves. Kick somebody in the knee, stomp them on the foot, karate chop, sock them in their neck.
Jeez.
Those kind
Holy
of things.
cow.
A liger is a hybrid offspring of a male lion and a female tiger.
I know.
The liger has parents in the same genus but of different species. I learned something new every day.
I was going to tell you, but I didn't want to be accused of mansplaining.
Every time I come on the show, I learn something new.
So a gun would be a nice self-defense mechanism, but doesn't always work. In this case, a stunning of the animal kingdom taking karma into its own hands, or rather its own paws. At least 3 poachers were mauled to death and then eaten by lions earlier this week after they illegally entered the Sibuya Game Reserve in South Africa to hunt rhinos.
Well, yeah.
They strayed into a pride of lions. It was a big pride, so they didn't have too much time, said one of the reserve owners. We're not sure how many there were. There's not much left of them. He added, however, that the clothing strewn around the scene points to there being at least 3 men. The authorities believe the 3 men entered the game reserve in the early hours of Monday. They were found dismembered the following day. In Africa, there are fewer than 25,000 rhinoceroses left in the world. Due to a boom in demand for their horns, which are sold on the black market in Asia for their supposed medicinal qualities. A May edition of 60 Minutes revealed that they are being slaughtered at the shocking rate of 3 a day at the hands of poachers, like the group that were killed by the lions. The poaching problem has gotten so bad that some conservationists have begun flying black rhinos, the most endangered type of the South African rhinos, to other places to be saved. How do you like that?
I say that's ignorance is bliss, and now those people are in heaven, hopefully.
They don't even deserve to be there.
I'm not saying that they should, but, really, I would think I'd want to know where the pride is like.
Not very good hunters either.
They're
right?
not good at nothing now.
Got
it's over.
479-1080-218-5726, DM@KSEO.com. Let's head out for news.
If someone should ask, tell them you heard it on AM 1080 KSCO.
Or 791-080, DM@KSEO.com, 218-5726. Check us out Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and at flight1080.net. You can find a link to everything there, including why you ain't getting paid for your longevity purchases. If you want to find out why you're not getting paid and why you're not making commissions, how you can make commissions, check out the videos right there, flight1080.net. You'll find them under longevity podcast or longevity videos, one or the other.
But you also have a meeting too, right?
I
you,
do.
You have groups that come in. And
We did have those, but now I have switched over to taping them. And it's much easier because it never fails. You always have somebody who says, what? And you have to
someone
explain,
can ask you a question
4 or 5 times.
after that.
They can, but if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. You can call me, text, email.
But I like that because you can do a revamp and redo whenever you're watching those videos. And if there's a particular selling technique that is appealing to you and your buyers, then you're good to go.
That's what I'm saying.
Amazing.
You can just click it and rewind it and rewind it and rewind it and rewind it if you want.
That's amazing.
Right. I'll be out at the Dave Cave, by the way, till 8 p.m. tonight.
And that's a Dave Cave located here at the studio.
Yes, right here at the station. I'll be out there till 8 p.m. if you want to stop by and pick up your longevity products.
So not to get out of the light and load, but I just want to mention about the Roe versus Wade. The biggest thing about these judges being nominated, and Trump may or may not, he's going to have one for sure, but he may have 2 nominees in this term. One of the things that they really look for is respect, since such a general theme for today, respect for precedent, is a foundational legal concept that asks judges to take past decisions into account when they rule on related cases. And this means that the Supreme Court justices hear a case that deals with issues such as abortion or death penalty. Deference to precedents generally leads them to render a decision. Let me repeat that. Deference to precedent generally leads them to render a decision that's in line with prior decisions on the issues. So I think this, like I said before, this is a really great topic to maybe get your political legs if you haven't discussed it with your friends or colleagues or whoever's wanting to get into the political discussion with you. I think this is one of those topics where you can, talk about how you feel about it. You can read something that, like I just read on the internet, that is legit, because this issue's been around since 1973. So it's out there. There's a lot of information. It's available. And I think it'll be great practice to set your own precedent.
And you know what? If that is your something you're interested in, then you want to tune in tonight after Pam's show. Dean Sutton will be talking about that topic.
And
He'll be
Dean's
talking about.
Our legal.
He's a lawyer. Yeah.
He's our legal beagle over here. And that's
Legal
what he's going to
beagle.
be talking about tonight. So I think if you haven't you may be a little timid to call in, or you think this is a man show, which it ain't. This is to all the girls out there. I'm saying get that girl power situated. This might be a topic you can chime in on. Do a little perusing. Get your
perusing.
stance.
I like that word.
Get your stance going. And just like you would a speech if you were in school or you wanted to do talk for a volunteer group or something. This is a great way to get into a discussion with someone about a political issue. This would be more social political, but I still think it's a great one.
479-1080, 218-5726. Holy City up there on Highway 17?
Yes.
Holy City had a whole bunch of things. They had a dance place, and they had gas stations and mechanics.
This is
they had
one
theater.
Of the older ones, right?
They had an observatory, yes.
Wow.
They also had a radio station.
What was the name of it?
The radio station at Holy City, because Father William Riker, was not a very nice man. As a matter of fact, he was a white supremacist, a segregationist. He was not a very nice man. But he did own Holy City, and he had a whole bunch of investment up there. He had a whole bunch of buildings and a whole bunch of services. It was a town that basically he had built, and he ran. The building of Highway 17 bypassed Holy City, and Holy City died, and has now been currently is under ownership from some Silicon Valley billionaires.
Yeah, I bet it is. They're referring to it as a cult on the internet.
Really?
Yep.
Holy City had a radio station with the call letters, because again, he was not a very nice guy. As a matter of fact, him and the government were not friendly at all. They were very familiar with each other. His radio station's call letters were KFQU. FQU. You get it?
I get it.
That was his call. Those were the call letters to his radio station, and that was like to the government. I don't know why they approved it, but yeah, those were the call letters.
Perfect Christian divine way.
And if you want to try to read that FQU, you'll see what it means.
So there's a roadside attraction, or it was part of a roadside attraction.
Yeah. Part of those buildings, some of those buildings are still up. Very, very dilapidated, but they are still upright.
Yeah, I see it right here. KFQU. Wow.
Now, you see the radio station?
I do.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? For those of you that know American Sign Language or International Sign, have you seen that movie, The Shape of Water?
No. Oh, I'm not going to watch that stupid movie. Are you kidding me?
Come on, this is up your alley. No, this is up your alley.
This is the one where the woman falls in love with some sea monster, right? Some water monster, right?
It's totally sci-fi.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
You'll love it.
All right.
It's amazing.
Tell me what it's about then.
Okay, so she signs a particular word and phrase. You might want to check that out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's tough. And it's cool. And come on.
218-5726. Coming from Hollister, take a left at take a left at the Windmill Barn in the San Juan Bautista onto Old Stage Road. Great drive into Salinas. All right. San Juan Bautista is beautiful too. I went out there last time I took Mikey hiking at the Pinnacles.
I love
San Juan Bautista is just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Love San Juan Bautista. I drive through there when I'm going to visit family in Fresno. I don't even get on the highway anymore. I just kind of shimmy through Aromas and shimmy through Watsonville, Aromas, and then I go through San Juan Bautista and do all that stuff. So,
if you're looking for a good boonie ride, you're looking for a good drive in the country, Aromas is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I would take Old School Road as a nice drive. Carr Avenue will take you, if you follow it long enough and go past the granite rock
quarry
mining or the quarry, it will take you on a beautiful ride out to
that's right before, right?
Yeah.
Off to the right by, is it Driscoll Berries right there? No.
That will take you to Aromas, yeah. If you go up that hill and then you take a left that'll take you into Aromas. But Aromas is a beautiful place to go for a drive.
Yeah, I see bicyclists taking that road just about every time I go to visit out of town.
My favorite ride, I think, in Watsonville is if you're heading towards Gilroy and you turn right there at the gas station. On this side is Carlton Road, and on this side turns to Casserly Road, I believe. You take Casserly Road and turn right there at the market and go up Mount Madonna Road. It takes you all along. It's just a beautiful, beautiful ride. Absolutely
Wow, I love
beautiful
that.
ride.
That sounds amazing.
If I was going to compare it with a ride here in Santa Cruz, I would compare it to driving along Brantza 40, taking it out to out the back roads all the way up to like Vine Hill. And it's all trees. It's all forest. We live in such a beautiful area. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And to go on these rides, you see just how beautiful it is. Highway 9.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
Just amazing.
Gorgeous, too.
Yeah. And Big Sur Road, it takes you up to or Big Basin Road that takes you up to the park. Just an absolutely beautiful. You guys who live in the valley, you are very, very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing here. And it's so, you've mentioned a dozen roads where you can take a drive and just kind of detox from the hustle bustle, especially
I love it.
If you live downtown or in the downtown area. About a half an hour ago, you were sitting in traffic still. So
yeah. 479-1082-1-85726. Let's check our text messages, emails, and all that kind of stuff. Let's check Facebook.
So, and you have a new website?
I do, flight1080.net. I'm glad you asked about that. Yes, flight1080.net. You can find all sorts of podcasts and videos, especially the longevity videos. I think those are going to do you great. So let's say you're already buying longevity products. If you're buying over $50 worth, you should be making commissions.
Because you can then parlay your expertise, because you've consumed all these products, and then say, hey, Dave, have you ever tried longevity? No.
You haven't tried, you've never tried Tangy Tangerine, right? I gave you a canister there.
No.
I want you to try.
Beyond Tangy
You are
Tangerine.
going to be blown away by that stuff.
Citrus peach fusion. Well, I can't believe how many minerals and vitamins, 200% of your daily allowance.
60 minerals, 16 vitamins.
Probiotics, prebiotics, Purogenics, free radical defense system. I mean...
what more do you want?
I don't.
Darn right.
I could just live off this.
479-1080. Okay, let's get to these stories.
So
all right?
I've never been to the Statue of Liberty or I've never been to New York. It is one of my bucket list places.
Yeah.
Because I would totally do all that touristy stuff. And this guy who was climbing the Statue
I think it was
of
a woman.
Liberty.
It was a woman.
Was it?
Yes.
I say go, mama.
I say you set a bad example.
Because she's climbing on a...
You got these women that are all climbing up these things and doing all kinds of things.
Why? Because it's a statue of a female?
I don't know.
It's a French statue.
A woman was charged today, was charged today with misdemeanor trespassing and disorderly conduct for climbing the base of the Statue of Liberty yesterday. Prosecutors are calling it a dangerous stunt. Court papers also charged Therese Okomo with resisting arrest by refusing to leave her perch by the bottom of the statue's robes, which was about 100 feet from the ground. Police were forced to scale the statue to pull her down. She allegedly staged a dangerous stunt that alarmed the public and endangered her own life and the lives of New York Police Department officers who responded to the scene. That's what the Attorney General is saying. So you might think, big deal. Well, there is a big deal when you got guys putting their lives on the line to go catch this clown.
That's the only part I don't like about the story as far as her actually doing a daredevil situation. I think it was pretty cool.
I think, I'm going to read this more to you, and tell me if it doesn't sound like they were setting her up or they're just trying to throw everything at her. The National Park Service decided to evacuate more than 4,000 visitors from the Liberty Island on Wednesday out of an abundance of caution. Average attendance for the 4th of July is 20 to 25,000 people. So again, they shut down the entire island because this woman climbed up the Statue of Liberty thing. The Park Service was reviewing security videotape to try to determine how the woman made it up so far. It was also taking a closer look at the statue to see if there was any damage, though that is unlikely. The copper pounded skin, because again, it's just pounded, is only the thickness of 2 pennies. But it is still strong, so it's fine. Statue of Liberty is only about the thickness of 2 pennies. It's pounded copper.
I say, and this is my whole conspiracy theory part of my personality, I say that something else was going on and they didn't know how to shut that place down, so they used her to do it. There, I said it out loud on the radio.
Oh, that's weird. What I was thinking is that you probably have some conservative or some Republican people who run the law enforcement in that town, and they are just going to throw the entire book at this woman. And if there wasn't enough there, they're going to shut down the island and blame that on her too.
Well,
and they're probably going to sue her for whatever money they lost while that happened. That's what I think is happening.
She's claiming she's part of the group Rise and Resist NYC.
Oh, and these guys are they want the abolishment of ICE.
Right.
They want to abolish ICE, which is
correct.
Just bizarre.
So the activists unfurled a banner on Liberty Island less than 1 hour before the climb. So it was a total stunt that read "Abolish ICE." Yeah. So the organization is claiming no connection with Okumo.
Yeah, something like that.
Okumo.
Definitely a foreign name.
Well, I think it's Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely not your typical American name.
It doesn't matter. The only issue I have with, like you just said, is, getting actual police and fire involved in the situation, that they could have been assisting other people.
Mm-hmm.
This is a stunt. But again, I think they were trying to get rid of people from that island, possibly this group, and they couldn't, so they did it. That's the way they did it, because they didn't want him to hang the banner, and so they probably knew she was going and let her go.
479-1080. Let's check our text messages. Danielle wins because, wow, that's stupid. I don't even have to go any further.
Time out.
What?
What does the first part of that say? Danielle wins?
Or Danielle Wines. How do you spell wine?
W-H-I-N-S.
No.
E-S. I don't think it
I
says
don't understand this. Danielle Wins?
Wins?
I don't understand that word.
Read the whole thing.
Danielle wins because Dave said his land animal was cats. It's dogs, Dave. What a weirdo.
I like it. Thank you.
A woman shot a man who she says took her car at a southern Dallas gas station last night. It happened around 10 p.m. as she was paying for gas. Her 2-year-old and her 4-year-old sons were in the backseat of a truck when a man suddenly jumped into the car and started driving away. She jumped into the back seat and reached into the glove box from the back seat. Guess what was in the glove box?
A weapon?
A gun. She took the gun, shot the carjacker right in the, I don't know, in someplace. He's alive, though.
So
he lost control of the vehicle, wrecked, crashed into a tree. Her 2 boys are okay. She's okay. The suspect is in custody. He's been arrested. The carjacker ran the car off the road and crashed into a fence. He was arrested, taken to the hospital for treatment. He likely will face charges for kidnapping and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle or carjacking. The kids were not hurt. She said she only fired once, but she almost wishes that she would have emptied the whole clip.
Wow.
She says, I'm not a killer, but I do believe in defending what's mine, she said. I hope that woke him up. And that's that's the same feeling that I had about the first story that we opened up with, that guy being charged in Watsonville for murder. Yeah. I almost wish, I don't wish for anybody to be dead. But if he had shot and killed those 2 guys that came in and robbed his house at gunpoint, broad daylight, I wouldn't be crying a tear. I wouldn't be happy, but I would be this far from being happy.
Here's a question about that situation. Do you think her insurance paid for the damages? It's just a question.
I don't know.
Wow.
Starting this week, rideshare and taxi drivers can only have blood alcohol concentration levels at 0.04 or less when they have riders in their vehicles. This is the same standards that commercial vehicle drivers obey. So big rig drivers and all them, they cannot have, they don't drive and they don't abide by the same rules you and I do. You and I can be driving with a blood alcohol content, assuming that it doesn't mess with our driving, because you can get charged with wet and reckless. You can be charged with a crime even though your blood alcohol content was less than 0.08.
You got keys in your hand for anything, you don't need to be drinking. Sorry. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's taxi, there's Yellow Cab, there's all kinds of other things you don't need to be modulating or moving in a vehicle of any kind, including your motorcycle. Put that drink down. Stop being a douchebag loser. Can I say that?
No.
Okay, stop being a loser. Keys in hand, negative. Negative ghostwriter.
218-5726. Did we ever determine if illegal immigrants are a net positive for our economy or a negative? That is something that I hear from both sides.
Okay, well, first of all,
I would say that they are, if I had to guess, my personal opinion, I'm not an economist, is that they are a drain. I don't know, though.
So you're saying net pause?
Huh? What?
And I believe net positive is a financial term.
I'm saying that they're not net positive.
Really? We're going to call people commodities now?
I guess. I don't know. But I think that the end situation, the end result is that they're a drain on our system. They take more than they contribute.
One reason why. Just one. Say it one.
One reason why, social programs.
Thank you.
Yeah. 479-1080-DM at KSCO.com. If we had more than 30 seconds, I could probably list more.
What's your new website again?
Flight1080.net. I'm glad you asked. That's flight1080.net.
Longevity videos there. So
longevity
you can
videos,
start making
podcasts.
Some cash.
You're going to find all kinds of stuff there. Also, we're going to have
cat
gear
pictures,
available there.
Probably cat pictures, too.
Maybe we could get some of those in there.
Thank you, Dave. I had a great time.
Thank you, Danielle. Good job.
See ya.
Billy Army will be joining us tomorrow, and we are going to have...